Squatting. Systema exercise. It's a beautiful thing. We all do it. And if you're not, you should be doing more of it. It is one of the core 4 exercises in Systema, and we're going to talk about it in this video. Hello, my friend. Before we jump into the video on squatting, I just wanted to let you know that I have a course. It's called Foundational Movement Mastery, and it's one of the reasons that I can do some of the things I do, is because I practice the movements inside this course. In fact, you've already done the movements, but you may not remember them. You've done them as an infant. This is all based on human developmental movement cycles that you and I both go through when we were infants, and we roll around on the floor, do a whole bunch of cool stuff before we can get up, walk, and run. But revisiting those movements is a key element to good mobility, good core strength, and living pain-free. At least that's what I think. It's worked for me, it's worked for some of my other clients and students. And I'll put a link down below in the description. You can check it out. It's $27 if you want to pick it up. It has a 45-day move-free guarantee, which means if for any reason you don't enjoy the way you feel 45 days of practicing these movements regularly, let me know and I will happily refund 100% of your $27. Cool? Now, let's talk about squatting. So, the squat. You may be wondering, why am I sitting in a chair if I'm talking about squatting? And the answer, my friend, is because, well, this is a squat. Well, it's the shape of a squat, or a part of a shape of a squat. See, squatting is a natural part of human movement. And people through the time and exercise brilliantologists have created it or made it into so many different strange and wonderful things. But the simple aspect is squatting is changing your height levels in a vertical plane, right? So the x-axis from up to down. And a nice simple way to think about it is your pelvis. Where is your pelvis? Is it going up, down? Is it coming up? That's really all we need to think about. So I brought the chair. I've got some other implements, because if you haven't done squats, full depth squats, in a long time, or maybe ever since you were a child, then you're going to probably want to use an implement. Just like the other core 4 exercises in Systema, the purpose of the squat is to strengthen you in body, mind, and spirit. So we're going to demonstrate the exercise, talk about a couple of variables that you can use, and then turn you loose to go explore it yourself. Cool? So as I was saying a second ago, the squat, simply enough, is a vertical level change. And it could be easiest to think about the position of your pelvis. And just thinking about it, sinking to the floor or floating up in the sky. And what we want to do is we're going to start with the chair. Now, here's the thing. There are variables to this exercise just like all the others. Angle, speed, load, platform, and depth. And depth is probably going to be the one that's most challenging if you haven't been doing this movement in a while. So, grab a chair, my friend. And then simply sit down in the chair. And then simply stand up from the chair. So down, up. So I've got a simple dining room chair here. And this is going to allow myself or you to really practice the beginning stages of a squat very simply. We're controlling the variable of depth and speed, platform, it's all here. I'm going to back up, I'm going to touch the back of my legs to the chair. I'm going to inhale, I'm going to exhale, and I'm going to let my pelvis sink onto the chair. Exhale, sink the pelvis, and there you have it. Both feet stayed on the floor, pelvis touches the chair. Now I'm inhale, exhale, and let the pelvis float up. And now if you can do this part comfortably in your chair, then you're ready for the next step down. All right, so the next step for me here, based on the equipment that I have with me, I pulled out the friendly heavy bag. So just as we set up in front of the chair, I'm gonna come over to the heavy bag, I'm gonna back up and put my heels or the lower part of my calves on the heavy bag. We're gonna inhale and then exhale, and we're gonna let our pelvis sink down until it sits on the bag. And then we're gonna inhale while we're seated, and then we're gonna exhale and let the pelvis float back up. So, again, set up, putting the lower part of my calves on the bag, inhale, exhale, and thinking about weight hanging from the bottom of my pelvis or the tailbone. Let it just pull me down as I exhale. And now the reverse, I'm gonna inhale, and as I exhale, I'm gonna think about a balloon filling and lifting me up from the pelvis and then letting me rise. If you start to imagine and think about your body as a balloon, especially when you're doing these up and downs, it can help. So next step is no bag, no chair, just squat and enjoy the ride up and down. It's cool, check it out. All right, so no chair, no bag. Just simply sink the pelvis down and then let the pelvis float back up. And what I didn't say before is generally you wanna keep your feet flat. I'm a big fan of a thing called a Hindu squats where you are up on your toes the entire time you do a squat. It's a great thing, it's great training, great balance work. Again, that is one of the variables. The squat, in this case, feet are flat, knees track over the toes, middle to pinky toe area, pelvis sinks between the legs. Inhale, exhale, and we're down. So calves and hamstrings are touching. And now as I inhale, I'm gonna push the earth away with my feet, and that lets my pelvis float up. There you have it, the simple squat, one of the core 4 exercises in Systema. I think you're really gonna love this movement once you get into it. All these exercises are not meant to punish you, they are meant to build you up, to create strength and stability and just awesomeness. But you have to go into it thinking that way, right? So if this movement is a challenge for you, just tell me in the comments. I actually have a set of movements in which will help you progress into the deep full squat. And if enough people need it, I can make a video on that. Besides that, don't forget about the Foundational Movement Mastery course. Again, the link is in the description, $27, and it'll help you move more freely and feel great about yourself. Also, if you haven't seen my video on the 7 principles of Systema breathing, you can check that one out as well, right here, or one of the other Core 4 movement videos right here. All right, I'll see you next time.